to be one of your professors in your program, in your information technology or cybersecurity program. And I'm excited to serve as one of the hosts for this event. And I just want to say thank you for joining us. I hope we're in for an exciting and informative session. With that, we want this webinar to be as interactive as possible. So you can participate with us by asking questions at any time during the presentation. So you'll hear me talk about some things about our school and our program, but at any time you want to just interrupt me and just say, hey, I got a question about that, feel free to do that. Or you can put your question in the chat in the Q&A, or you can wait to the end. We got some time dedicated towards the end of this webinar to answer your questions. So feel free to just jump in, and we want this to be as interactive as possible and not just be me talking to you about some of the things that you can read about. So joining me today is we see on the screen, you see myself and also Director Russo is the program director, and Dan Rahe is your academic advisor. And you will be working with Dan to schedule your classes and things like that. Dan's not going to be with us today, but my colleague Ann, you'll be hearing with her later to talk about some of the admissions requirements. So let's talk about who we are. And we talk. You see SoPA. Well, what is SoPA? Well, SoPA is one of the 10 schools that make up the larger Tulane University systems. Inside Tulane universities, there are 10 schools. There is School of Architecture, School of Business and Law, things like that. And one of those 10 is the School of Professional Advancement, which is what we're a part of. Also, we just call it by SoPA. And what you may not be familiar with SoPA, what's unique about it, it's been around for a long time. It's actually one of the first schools in Tulane University, and we're very diverse. We got students ranging from 17 to 77, and it goes far back in history. And our campus is beautiful. I'm sitting in the beautiful Uptown campus in New Orleans. If you become a student, you will be, even though you may take online classes, you may take in-person classes, but you will be part of our family, and you'll be on campus if you need to be on campus, and you'll be part of our environment. And our one of the big benefits is our beautiful campus in New Orleans, Louisiana. So let's talk about your degree that you're going to get. Your degree is going to say Tulane University. It's not going to be called out, oh, this is Tulane SoPA or Tulane whatever. This is, you're going to walk across the stage, and you'll be given your degree from the dean. You come to the big graduation, whether it's in our football stadium or in the Superdome, you'll be part of every other student, and your degree will say from Tulane University with a Bachelor of Science or a Master of Science directly from Tulane University. And that's awesome. You'll be part of the family. So let's move forward. And today we're going to talk about the programs, the Bachelor of Science and the Master of Science, and some of the other certificate options, what the learning experience is like being a student, and some of the other ancillary points like student support and how to get started and how affordable this program actually is. All right. So I mentioned earlier SoPA. Let's talk about the SoPA difference. What makes SoPA so different is that our programs and our overall school is designed for students just like you. Now, we have traditional students on campus. These are your 18 to 22-year-olds that are fresh out of high school, and we have some students in that demographic in SoPA. But the SoPA was designed for the working professional, the working adults. And the classes are taught by industry executives that happen to have advanced degrees in the industry as well. So these are from CIOs and directors who have been there, done that, bought the T-shirt. And we have a national executive advisory board that's made up of national technical companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, things like that. And the biggest key difference is that you will be learning hands-on labs. Fingers are on keyboards, working with real tools and real technologies that you will see in the workplace. So I see Jonathan has his hand raised. Jonathan, you're welcome to unmute yourself and go ahead and throw a question out there.
I have a question. So I'm going to be doing where you can do the master's and your bachelor's at the same time. I have a question on this part where it says stackable certificates and concentrations, master's only. What do you mean by stackable certificates and concentrations?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're, these are the Stackable certificates is just for the graduate program. So you can get started in your graduate degree, and we can talk about that a little bit further. I think I have some slides there. Is that you can work towards a graduate certificate. This is a Tulane credential certificate, and it's a handful of classes. You can get that actual certificate. It's not a graduate degree. It's not a master's degree, but it is a graduate certificate. And you can stack multiple of these, and each one of them count towards your master's degree. So that's what makes it stackable. So if you earn a credential along the way. So you may get started on your graduate degree, and it's going to take 2 or 3 years to complete, or average is about 18 months, but sometimes 2 years. And along the way, you knock out 3 classes and you get a certificate. And you may get another certificate, but either way, they stack up to your graduate degree. So those classes count. You almost get a credential or graduate certificate along your way of completing your graduate degree. Good question, though.
And can
Outstanding
you
question.
go over some of those certificates, or is there a way we can look at what those
Yeah,
certificates
absolutely. Great question. You read my mind. We got a slide that kind of lays out some of those certificates and options. So yeah, good question. And yeah, thanks for raising your hand and asking that question. And I encourage everyone to do that as well. But absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and move on here, and we'll get to some of that stuff. I do want to highlight our faculty. If you get a chance, go to our webpage and take a look at our faculty. You'll notice a couple things. You'll notice, one, that our faculty is very diverse. We have a diverse set of faculty, and you also notice too that I mentioned earlier, these are industry executives. This is just some examples. This is just 4 examples of our top faculty. I encourage you to go to our webpage. We have complete bios for all our faculty of what they've done in industry. And the key things here is they've actually done the things that they're talking to you about. They've done the things that they're going to teach you, and they'll teach you what the textbook says, how to pass the course, get your A, but also they'll teach you this is how it really works in the real world. And the next thing is an outstanding networking opportunity. Many of our students actually get hired by our faculty. Here's one of our faculty you see on our screen right here, Amanda Fennell. She is an cybersecurity leader in the area, and she's a CISO and a CIO at some of the local companies. And she's done some internships, and her company's done some internships. And you'll be working directly with her and other faculty just like her along your way in your journey. All right, so let's talk about some of our degrees real quick, different options. I mentioned earlier that there's a Bachelor of Science and also a Master's of Science degree as well. In the Bachelor of Science degree is what I'm talking about right now. You can come in and just get a Bachelor of Science degree, and you have kind of a broadened degree of all things information technology. Or you can also choose to concentrate. You can pick a concentration. A concentration is not required, but if you know you're really interested in certain aspects, you can concentrate in application development, product and program support, which is business analysts, scrum masters, technical writing, things like that. Also, you can concentrate in systems and cloud or cybersecurity. And then also there's the accelerated master's program that Jonathan kind of mentioned, where you can end up double dipping and take in your final year of your graduate degree. Some of your classes will also count towards your master's degree as well. All right, let's look at some of the other options we have. Our master's degrees. There's 2 main tracks in our master's degrees. Both are Masters of Science, but one is a Master of Science in Information Technology Management. The other one is a Master of Science in Cybersecurity Management. Now, you notice that the word management is on both of those. So our graduate degrees, they are technical because they are a Master's of Science degree in cybersecurity and IT, but they are management degrees. They will teach you how to be leaders and executives in the field. For example, the Master of Science in Cybersecurity Management is technical enough. You're going to learn some technical skills, some advanced technical skills, but you're not doing the deep dive science of reverse engineering, malware analysis, and things like that. Instead, you're learning how to build, lead, execute, and be a leader and a developer of a cybersecurity program. And just like the bachelor's degree, you can also do concentrations in both set of master's degrees. In the Master of Science in Information Technology Management, you can concentrate in cybersecurity, or you can concentrate in emergency operations or homeland security. And the same for the Master of Science in Cybersecurity Management. You can do a concentration in emergency management and Homeland Security. Now, Jonathan asked about these graduate certificates. Here's a list of these graduate certificates in the bottom of the screen here. There's one in cyber defense, in cyber leadership, and cyber technology fundamentals. I'll come back to that one, hold that one. Then you'll notice that the cyber leadership and cyber defense, these will stack up into the cybersecurity management program. Same goes with the IT, strategic planning, technology architecture, and data science. These stack really well into the IT management side of, but both can be used. So you don't necessarily have to, if you take, say, data science and cloud certificate path, that can be used as to stack into both the cybersecurity management and the IT management. And I'll come back a little bit later. I'm going to talk about the technology fundamentals. So let me stop here. Jonathan or anyone else, any questions about these certificates in particular? I can kind of walk through what these are and what you'll learn.
Yeah, can you go over like the cyber defense and the cyber technology fundamentals a little bit more about that?
Yeah, cyber defense is going to be your techie side of it, the nerd knobs. It's going to be pen testing, hacking, forensics, things like that. It's very blue team, red team. It's the technical side of it. Just the opposite of the cyber leadership is more policy, things like that. The cyber technology fundamentals, we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. And that's the perfect slide. Thank you, Ann. This is for students who are coming in from other backgrounds. To be admitted into our graduate program, you have to have either an undergraduate degree in technology or significant professional experience in the field. But if you don't have any IT experience, you do not have an IT undergraduate, that's what the cyber fundamentals certificate is for. So instead of applying for the graduate program and not being admitted because you don't have that IT experience or the IT undergraduate, instead of just going away, the cyber fundamentals certificate is kind of a bridge. Is for people who have a background in business or music or healthcare or some other field but want to get into technology. The cyber fundamentals graduate certificate will bridge that gap. It's an 18 credit certificate. It's one of our larger certificates. Most certificates are only 4 classes. This one is 6, but it will give individuals a good breadth of all things technology and cybersecurity. It won't go in detail, but it'll give you the fundamental knowledge to be successful in the graduate program, or it just give you the fundamental knowledge to be successful in just if you want to get started in that career field. Whether it's getting a more of an entry level, mid-level job, or if you want to continue on into the graduate program, anybody who passes this certificate and gets the certificate will be automatically accepted into our graduate program for a master's degree. I already talked about how these certificates are stackable. Most students do this. They'll take they'll start their academic career progression and get a certificate, 4 classes. Once they get that credential, then they'll continue the way to get their Master of Science degree. And it's less expensive than a degree, but also gives you some credentials. And a lot of times that graduate degree, that graduate certificate will land you a job or get your foot in the door to the job, and you can still be working on that as you work towards your full degree. All right, so let's talk about how we learn, how we teach at SoPA. I've kind of mentioned that we're catered towards the working adults, the non-traditional, and how we do that is we teach in a very interactive way. It's not, hey, come to class, the instructor's going to stand up in class and talk for 4 hours, and you have to take notes, and in 2 weeks, you're going to have this 100-question test on what they talked about. That is not what we're going to do. These classes are very interactive. If you take an online class, it's in Zoom like you are right now, and you come to class, and it's interactive. You do breakout sessions, you do group work, you actually work on labs. And it is very situational that's going to mimic the job skills you're going to do when you get a job or when you get an internship, that kind of thing. Yes, it is an academic program. There will be some traditional academic aspects like writing a paper or things like that, but most of it is very student focused and very focused on the learning aspect of real world stuff, working labs. Most of your finals and your classes will be project based, not, hey, write this, not take this 200 question test you got to cram for 24 hours. Nothing like that. Most of it would be project based, like writing a security assessment or um, writing a policy or something like that. Something very user job related, but also related to your course. And a lot of times you can take what you learn in your course and automatically apply it to the workforce as well. All right. So let's look up, these are just some potential career options. If you go look up job careers in information technology, the list is going to change by the time we get through talking today. They always new job description, but this is kind of a general overview. These are what a lot of our students, they have these kind of roles once they graduate some of our programs. For the Bachelor of Science degree, the undergraduate degree, a lot of our students get jobs or being a cybersecurity engineer, system administrator, database, project managers, DevOps, cloud infrastructure engineer, something along that level. That's what the kind of job skills you'll be focusing for. Now, if you look at the other side, you look at the master's degree, there in the next slide, and you'll have different career options. Like I said, this is focused on leadership. For the Master of Science in IT Management, you're looking at the director level skills, CIOs, Director of Technology, managers, things like that. In the Master of Science in Cybersecurity Management, you're looking for the same type thing, but more focused on cybersecurity. CISO, Chief Information Security Officer, Chief Privacy Officer, Director of Cybersecurity, things like that. That's kind of what we're looking for. Like I said, this is not all encompassing. Can I guarantee you that you're going to get a CIO or a CISO job as soon as you graduate? No, I can't guarantee that. But I can tell you that many of our students are current CIOs that have graduated the program. So I'll say it that way. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next slide here. And so I'm gonna stop here for a second, and I'm gonna invite my colleague Ann to talk about some of the non-academic side of once you join the family and you become a student.
Thank you, Bill, and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to learn more about our programs. So I'm going to tell you a bit about the student support and success. So not only do we want you to become a student with us at Tulane SoPA, we want to see you cross that stage, get your degree. And we do that through our student support. So along the way, earlier in the presentation, you saw there's a senior academic advisor, Dan Ray, and he will be with you all along the way in your academic journey. He advises all of the IT cyber programs. Not only do you have your academic advisor supporting you, you also have faculty like Dr. Riles, and they are great sources of knowledge and networks. And we also, being part of the Tulane community, you will be part of our academic community, and you'll be meeting students alongside you in classes, whether in person or online, with really interesting backgrounds, and you learn from one another. And you'll also be part of the Tulane Alumni Network once you graduate. Also at SoPA, we have a career advisor. Her name is Susan. She's fantastic. You can request to meet with her, and do mock interviews. She can help you with your LinkedIn. And also the faculty, cyber, they are great resources as well for job opportunities. All right, and then moving forward. So for those of you looking at getting a bachelor's degree, our Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, we are a transfer-friendly school. So if you've taken coursework at other institutions, We would evaluate that coursework and try to get you up to that full 60 credits, which you can transfer in. That's the maximum, because your final 60 credits, you'll be getting here at Tulane, and therefore getting that Tulane degree. So here's just a bit of breakdown of savings with bringing in transfer credit. We also have credit for prior learning. So this is another way to save money, and this applies to both undergraduate and graduate students. So undergraduate students can receive up to 24 credits. This is if you have work experience that aligns with curriculum, that coursework that we already have. Let's say you've been working in the IT field for a long time already, you just don't have that degree. We have a credit for prior learning coordinator, and she would evaluate and kind of see what we can do with your work experience and how you can get credit and complete your degree even quicker. One part of that with being an undergraduate student, if you're bringing in 60 credits already of transfer credit, you would not be able to do the credit for prior learning. For graduate students, you can earn up to 6 credits. All right, so our affordability and tuition. So for undergraduate, this is for fall 2023, but this applies to spring 2024 as well. For undergraduate, it's $623 per credit. Graduate is $1,210 per credit. The vast majority of classes are 3 credits each. We also like to encourage students, if you're applying, which I hope you are, also to just keep in mind about financial aid, start that FAFSA. You also, once you're a student at SoPA, you will be assigned a financial aid counselor through the financial aid office. So that would be your person you can go to with questions about financial aid. We also have various scholarships, like the Transfer Student Scholarship for $1,500. And then we also have an Early Enrollment Scholarship. So this is a way, we'll go over deadlines a little later, but we encourage students to apply early. We have rolling admission, get registered for classes early, and then you get the Early Enrollment Scholarship. Also, if you're a Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society member, we also have a specific Phi Theta Kappa GAP scholarship of up to $3,000. And also we have a number of 20% off tuition discounts listed here: active duty military and veterans, alumni of Tulane, minority serving institutions, HBCUs, active and retired public safety personnel, PTK members, K through 12 instructional staff, New Orleans area public employees, and adults over the age of 16. All right, and so apply now. We try to make our application process straightforward, and with you attending today, which thank you for attending, we typically have an application fee to submit your application, but because you attended today, that fee will be automatically waived. And there's no code or anything. You just need to submit your application and it won't ask you to pay anything. If you have any questions with that, please feel free to reach out to us. So complete the application. You'll need to upload a government issued ID, and then also get your transcripts. Now, the vast majority of transcripts are sent electronically or in a mailed in a sealed envelope from the institution. And then we have our graduate degree application requirements. Bill, do you want to talk a bit about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I'll be happy to jump in. So this is for our graduate program. Once you apply, there your application will be scrutinized, it will be looked at and reviewed, and because we want to set you up for success. And Tulane, once you get a degree and a graduate degree in IT or cybersecurity, you will be seen as an expert in the field. So we want the best of the best applicants. So you want to put your best foot forward. And the basic requirements here is that you need a bachelor's degree in technology. It could be cybersecurity, information technology, computer information systems, or some type of related field. Or if you don't have a undergraduate degree in technology, you need 3 to 5 years of relevant technology experience to make sure you're successful in the program. And there are several steps in the application degree process. Be sure to really think about how you apply, uh, fill out every field. If it asks you to write a statement, you write that, think about spell checks and the whole nine, put your best foot forward. But the main requirement to be admitted is that bachelor's degree in information technology, and you need to have a good GPA. It's sometimes relevant. We may have a bad grade in one course that impacts your GPA. That's okay. We'll look at it and use that in an evaluation. If you did have a bad grade, just put that in your application. Hey, I made a bad grade in algebra, when I took it as a freshman year, but now I've just kind of explained some of that. If you have a less than optimal GPA, and we do look at everything. So just because you have a lower GPA, it doesn't necessarily mean you're not admitted, but it is a factor as well. And as I mentioned earlier, if you don't meet these requirements, that's where the cyber technology fundamentals come in. If you don't meet these requirements, you take the cyber technology fundamentals, and then once you pass that certificate, then you're automatically accepted regardless of your IT background.
Thank you, Bill. I also would like to mention that we do not require the GRE.
Yeah, good point.
We don't think it's an accurate measure of a student's success in the program. All right, and then moving forward, yes, the application deadlines. So, all right, I'm gonna go with the application deadline. So the last day you can submit the application. Spring semester is January 1st. And we also have rolling admission. So you can really apply anytime. You could apply to summer semester as well. Summer semester, May 1, fall semester, August 1, and spring semester this year, it starts mid-January. Is that right, Bill?
I think so. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so those are the deadlines to apply. And then this early enrollment scholarship, which I was explaining a bit earlier. So this is an incentive for you to apply early and get registered for classes. So for spring semester, if you're thinking spring semester, apply now. And if you need to be registered for classes by December 1st. And then if you're undergraduate student, that would be $200 off tuition. And for graduate students, $500 off. And then you can see the early enrollment deadlines for the following semesters. For summer, early enrollment deadline, April 21st. And then for fall semester, June 1st. So apply and get registered. All right, so thank you.
I see one question about, I have a degree in computer science, but I've got a lower GPA. Will I still be eligible to apply? So the answer is yes, you'll be eligible to apply. And once we get your application, we'll make a determination at that point. Like I said, we look at everything, not just your GPA. Be sure to include as much information as you can in your application, or whether it be if you had any professional experience or any other training or something like that to kind of make up for that lower GPA. But even with that, there are options. We depending on your application, because GPA is just one of the factors. It's the overall. We may want to do an interview with you to see if you're a fit for the program. There are several things we can look at to factor. And even if you're still 2.91 is kind of right on the borderline. If you're still on the borderline, we can do provisional acceptance, which would mean simply you can't take a full load. You take maybe start off with one class or two class, not take any more than two classes, or maybe even start off with one class for one semester. And if you do well in that one class, and if you pass it well, and the workload works pretty good, and then you're accepted fully. So there's some options there. So I would say yes. If you got a degree in computer science, regardless of the GPA, go ahead and apply, and then we can discuss what's the best route going forward. Good question. Is there any other questions that we could answer for you?
I have a question.
Okay, great.
Is there a way you can share your do you have like a time I can set up just to talk to you? And because I'm driving right now, but is there a way I can like meet with you one-on-one and have some more questions answered?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll see. And will they get a copy of this webinar, or he's driving? So my contact email it's on here. And you send me an email, and then I'll respond back with you with a link to set up a meeting. It's a Calendly link. You set up that, you pick a time slot, and I'd be happy to talk to anybody one-on-one.
Yes, everybody will receive a recording to the webinar. But how about with Jonathan and Bill? I have both your email addresses. Since Jonathan's driving, I'll just send you both an email to connect you.
Okay, perfect. And when I respond to that, Jonathan, you'll see a link to schedule a meeting. You'll be presented with a web page with a calendar, and you just pick an open slot, and I'll be happy to meet with you one-on-one. So we have a question about 30 credits from our previous school. Transcript is locked. I don't know. The question would be, was it from a Tulane school or another university? Either way, that's going to be dependent on the reason why is it locked. It may be an outstanding balance. It may be, really not sure. University of New Orleans. So yeah, how to get it unlocked? That it's going to be totally with University of New Orleans. And would you have any other insight on how to get the transcript unlocked?
Right. So no matter what, that anytime a student applies to any institution, there's something called the clearinghouse, which the clearinghouse would detect this balance issue with UNO, which would you be applying for undergraduate degree? Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. I would be applying for cybersecurity undergraduate degree.
Okay. So that we would have to follow up with you, but if it's locked, we wouldn't be able to evaluate those credits. So, I'm not sure if the transfer, but we would need to look into it further. So I can follow up with you, but it is something that, you'll have to deal with UNO about getting that unlocked, but we will follow up.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Is there any other questions? Well, outstanding. You have our contact information here, myself and Director Russo, and reach out to us at any time. We can cover some more detail if you need it, or schedule a one-on-one as well. And thank you, Ann, for hosting this event, and thank you all for spending your valuable time with us. I can't wait to see you in class.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for your time.